Beat you.
Oh! Good old Facebook messing up again. Look at that. Let me see if I can fix it. Golly. It ain't going to fix it. They kill me. Ask me again. Let's see.
Ask you what again?
Why I took Facebook off of my feed. It's just so much problems every time I turn around. There we go. I think it fixed it. What's up? Hello, everybody. Hey, my printer just finished. I'm going to walk over and grab it. I'll let you introduce us.
You're just distracted by like everything today. Hey, everyone.
Wide open, man.
Good first Sunday in August. We're rapidly approaching the fall season. So get ready for that.
Yeah, there was a little hint of cool air in the breeze earlier, right as it was getting dark or starting to get dark. This is a AirTag mount, and you probably can figure out what it goes to.
Yeah.
I printed it out of ABS carbon fiber or glass field ABS.
I got to design one of those for something slightly different.
But yeah, but that's what this is. It's cooling right now. It just finished, but that's the glass field ABS to give it just to make really sure that the heat doesn't get to it. Because I don't use a lot of the glass field, so I was like, it's an ideal project for it because it's gonna be outside in the heat, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's about it, man. I tell you, I have been logging some miles this week. Oh, you done got me hooked, got me addicted. I'm having a good time. It's been just like every day I have been pedaling my rear end off. I went 20 miles today. Dirt roads, the whole 9 yards. So I'm really enjoying it. And believe it or not, I think the kids and Brandy and everybody likes it. So far, so good.
Yeah, that's good.
So what you been up to other than playing with your Onefinity over there? Hashtag Team Onefinity.
Yeah, well, I was working with that today. I actually did kind of the first legit project on it. I know I did an engrave week and a half ago or so, but yeah, this was kind of like more of a legit, like ends up being a pocket and then a profile cut to pop this out. So that's kind of to help button up the initial video, which is going to be more kind of the assembly tips and getting the first cut done. And then after that, I'm going to dive into some more fun projects with it. So still some things I want to get kind of tweaked on it, mostly around dust collection, but yeah, it's running all right there. I had to run a spindle break-in procedure they recommend, which is 2.5 hours of letting it just slowly ramp up in RPM.
Yeah,
which isn't that big of a deal because it's not that loud, especially you take the collet and everything off. It's not really spinning anything. It's just kind of really breaking in the bearings and making sure the oil is distributed and such. But yeah, today I fired it up with the dust collection, just hooked up to my shop vac setup you got right back there. And I forget how loud that is compared to running the tall dust collector. But no, that's going well. Also dropped the video on the Sculpt Fun E1 Pro, little 20 watt enclosed laser. Kind of a nice, I feel like they did a decent job with that one when you're trying to make a safe enclosed laser, but not like add all the smart bells and whistles and everything that jack up the price and make it proprietary. So works really well with Lightburn. Doesn't have autofocus. It does have 2 modules. And as I mentioned in the video, the one disappointment is the way they made the modules is the laser output isn't in the same spot. So now you got to recalibrate it and set up a different profile for each one. So which wouldn't be a big deal except for things like you might want to engrave acrylic with the IR module and then cut it with the blue, and now you gotta make the shift and whatnot. But yeah, got that kind of out there yesterday. So if you haven't watched it, give it a watch and throw a quick comment on there and tell me what you think. Help that algorithm and such. But it's been the trend. People kind of getting away from the open gantry lasers and creating safer kind of closed ones. And this was Sculpt Fun. It's not their first enclosed one because they've had the iCube lasers, but kind of their first replacement of their kind of open gantry series. So yeah. And then as you see right here, the IKEA Master is here. I've been trying to dial in the rotary so I can work with that while also trying to get stuff going on that. So I've been jumping between the two, but yeah, the rotary is working pretty well in both Atom Stack Studio, and I got it working in Lightburn as well, which is good. So now I got to run some tests on some tumblers and some things and put that out there for people to see what it can do. So, and then I do have this sling bed conveyor for it. Not my, I don't like using them, but I'll set it up. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they're better than the grocery counter thing.
Yeah, you got to open it up.
Treadmill looking thing.
You got to open it up and let it come.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to test it with the fume clear unit and see if that's got enough to draw and through. It's just, I don't care which one it is. All of the conveyors, pass-throughs and whatnot, they always, you always end up getting smoke in your shop or your area. So,
oh yeah. They are definitely not ideal for fume management. Like they always negatively affect that. Yeah. It's almost like they need one of those little things like they had at the grocery store, the little plastic flaps. it's like they almost need one of those.
Well, the P3 does that. They've got the little kind of the bristle ones. So it helps, but still, it still gets through.
Yeah, that's like I said, I'm not a fan of the sling beds either. I mean, in a pinch, I guess it's better than nothing, but I would definitely don't like using them because I had, matter of fact, it's probably a very similar one that I had with the Hurricane, and it goes in there and just sits down in holes on the base, and like you said, there's a gap like that between the top of the sling bed and the bottom of the machine, so it's not light safe or fume safe.
Eric's saying I have the master conveyor. How do you get it to focus that low? I haven't tried yet, and I'm guessing you're telling me I might have some issues. So I'll see. Once I get it hooked up, and I'll see if I have that problem. Maybe that's an oversight. Maybe we got to look at that. Possibly you have to use a longer lens with it or something. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried hooking it up yet. I've just been messing with the rotary because that's more of my interest with it.
Yeah,
but we'll see. And then yeah, I do want to do more with the Polar 2, and so I have a couple rotary options to play with that. I'm going to see if I can get that working as well. So a lot of things to keep testing here, but we're also rapidly rolling towards fall semester startup, and so work's starting to accelerate on me and get busy as well. And yeah, well, speaking of e-bikes though, I might have to ride mine to work tomorrow.
You done killed the minivan?
Well, so I was getting some noise from the front struts, shocks, and I don't have space to deal with it right now. So I took it into my mechanic, and they were going to look at it for me. And I was supposed to pick it up Friday, and they called towards the end of the day, say, yeah, the ones that we were sent, we got them installed, and they were worse, and noticed now they have a defect. So we're having to warranty them, get them replaced. But we're not going to have this done by the end of the day. So I've been without that over the weekend, and won't get it back till sometime tomorrow afternoon, hopefully.
Well, let's hope you get some good weather.
Yeah, we had some storms. Thursday night into Friday, but this weekend's been pretty decent. It's cooled off a bit. Still in the upper 80s, but yeah, it should. It's uphill on the way to work, and that's going to be like upper 60s and probably like 90% humidity. But
Yeah.
we'll make do.
Yeah. Let's see. I can't get. Greg saying, "Are you saddle sore?" No, it's surprisingly, even though both of the bikes that I've been riding have stock seats, so far it hadn't been terrible. It hadn't been bad. Like I can tell I've been doing, riding, but it hasn't been too terrible. And of course, Mark's saying, "How much exercise are you actually getting though on an e-bike?" You would be surprised if you can go either way. Like you can, if you just want to get on there and ride and just be casual, you can do that. But if you dial it in to where you're having to exert yourself, but you're traveling, there's a balance. You can do one extreme or the other. The thing about, and I've having to learn this, the thing about the whole you not doing an exertion, like if you just gassing on it, your range is going to diminish rapidly as opposed to pedaling. So there's a balance. I mean, even though you have the motor, it assists you if you set it up correctly. Now you can set it up and just ride it like a motorcycle if you want, but yeah, you get some exercise. And I know you're going to chime in too, because
it also depends on the bike you have, what kind of sensor it has, because some of them have what's called a cadence sensor, and it's basically just looking for RPM, and it'll have the motor kind of move at that pace. In that sense, you're more just basically, if you're moving the pedals, the motor's pushing you along, and you're trying to keep up with it. You're not getting a lot of exercise there. I mean, you're moving, but you're not exerting a lot of energy. In a torque sensor in low setting, it is actually looking for the torque of you pedaling to kind of set the speed that it assists. And so it's trying to kind of balance that out. And so you can kind of have it in low, medium, high. And as Clack said, you can then, depending on the bike, completely override that and go throttle only up to certain speeds. But yeah, you're gonna lose your range on that. So
yeah.
For me, I tend to keep it into level 2, which means I'm working for the most part. And it's just kind of helping push along.
Tour, that's tour on the electric, right?
That would be tour. Eco mode is almost nothing there.
Yeah, eco mode doesn't help you a whole lot.
But the nice thing is, like I've mentioned in the past, back in college, I played catcher a lot for softball and other things, and I hyperextended my knee or slightly dislocated it, and it's been, I mean, it's just always weaker, and so every once in a while that flares up, and so this keeps me from straining too much going up a hill that way, and
yeah,
but yeah, it's depending on the bike and the rider. I don't, I've seen a lot of people get these and they almost never pedal. And I'm just like, right, just get a scooter at that point.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it's one of those really, yeah, you can go around and not break a sweat because the motor's doing all the work. I prefer to get out there and get a good hour's worth of cardio when I go out.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm doing. I like even the one that I have both right now. I have the electric, which is the torque sensor, and then I have the Thunder Pro, which is made by Jason, and it's got a cadence sensor. But on some of these hills and stuff around here, because you can't just I guess you could, but some of these hills that we have here, the bike alone is not strong enough to pull those hills. Like you can gas on the throttle. It's only going to get you up to about 22, 25 degree grade. After that, it's done. So you have to pedal to help it because you're putting in a little bit of energy. The motor's putting in a little bit of energy. And you got to keep in mind too, like the one bike, it's 90 pounds So it's not like you're riding a regular bicycle either. But yeah, it's a lot more exercise than what you think. Like it's enough that my Apple Watch is picking it up and detecting it, and I'm getting credit for exercise. Like it automatically says, "Hey, you exercised for 2 hours today or whatever." But that's the JCon that I've been riding today. I did 20 miles on it today, and 20 miles is, you got to kind of think of it too. It's almost like a treadmill. I don't know why I did that. I was trying to get the picture to go away. It's almost like a treadmill. On a treadmill, you're not climbing hills or nothing like that. You're just kind of picking them up and putting them down. Well, the e-bike with the cadence sensor is similar to a treadmill. So yeah, if you do a mile, you're not going to get the exercise you would if you rode a regular bike a mile. But I don't know about y'all guys, but I'm probably not going to ride a regular bike 20 miles up and down hills and through the hollows around here. I would go like maybe a mile and come back home, and that'd be it. So, but it is fun, and I'm down third consecutive day. I'm down to 222 pounds. So I'm losing weight and having fun and keeping my heart rate, getting some cardio. That's what I'm after. So,
I mean, just to clarify, there are treadmills that will incline and give you a bit of a.
Yeah, just still a treadmill though. You're not going up. I mean,
some of them. There's some smart ones that are just a little bit, but
like Brandy's
getting in the weeds there with e-bikes and treadmills.
Yeah, it's different, but I've enjoyed it. It's helping. It's definitely helping me. Like I said, my watch has been detecting it and logging some hours, and I'm getting a lot more hours of exercise now than I was a week or two ago. So I'm really looking forward to it, enjoying it.
Cool. Well, Mark says last week, you helped him out with the longer Ray 520 watt, and the file that you sent worked great. Just had to go in and toggle on DTR. So.
Cool.
Why we do what we do here, answer questions and try to help people out. So
yeah, and that's why, like I said, I keep an archive, and Steve does the same thing of all the files and stuff we've used with these different machines. So when you guys need them, they're there.
Yeah. Eric says he had his e-bike stolen from his garage in San Francisco. He was pretty bummed as they are super fun. That's my kind of concern is securing it if I go somewhere, and I've seen some people recommend some really hefty chains and such, but then I'm like, okay, now I got to lug around this 20-pound bike chain as well. I mean, but yeah, they do become a little more attractive than your typical bike because, hey, like we were saying, you can hop on them and not have to pedal. So sorry to hear that, but
yeah, that would definitely suck.
And Incline Design says, nice to watch you guys tonight while I lay here recovering from surgery from a week and a half ago to remove my prostate, to remove prostate cancer. Learn lots from you all. Well, hope your recovery goes well. Glad we could be hopefully both entertaining and educational as you recover. And yeah, hopefully you can get back up and going, and hopefully that you stay cancer free after this. So
yeah, that's no joke, for sure. My mom's, she's like, she takes treatments and stuff, but hers is pretty much with her. They can't do anything more to remove it other than treat it with chemo and stuff. So she's been going through that now for over a year and a half or so. So yeah, it's a terrible, terrible thing.
AGT Restore saying, have either of you tried or heard the new Lumos laser? They've had a couple come out. I've only looked at the original one. I think they had the Ultra and now the Flex are the two new ones since we've taken a look at them.
Yeah, they had the Ultra was the bigger one. That one is kind of like the competitor to the Creality, I guess. And then the
Mhm.
Flex is basically the original Lumos, but with a power upgrade.
So, yeah, no, I had so many problems with the Vision series that We Create and I have kind of just agreed not to talk for a while.
Yeah, we're taking a break.
But the Lumos was, I will say, the Lumos did perform pretty well. The original one, I definitely put it on par with the original F1. With some, well, I guess I should say it's kind of a step between the F1 and the F2 because they had the camera and whatnot. But functionality wise, yeah, I would say it's pretty much on par with the F1 and the F2 series with the original Lumos and the Flex. I just like the form factor, the kind of tighter box of the F2 better myself. So,
Yeah.
but I haven't had a chance to see either of the ones since that. So,
Yeah. Well, EMT's got a question, and Steve can now answer this question in case you guys didn't see. He got himself a X2D. But to answer your question, EMT Dave, you don't have to have a second AMS for the secondary nozzle. You can use the regular side spool, just a traditional, like, let it roll. If you're using the filament and going to leave it on the machine, it's probably a good idea to look at getting one of the AMS HTs, which is basically just a little single AMS that you can put one roll of material in. And if you look at my machine over there, you can see on the right side right there, that's what that is. That's a single spool AMS, basically. It's also capable of higher temperatures. So if I'm printing, if I want to use it for some other kind of filament, I can put other filaments in there and get it really, really hot. Like some of the nylons and stuff like that you print, the engineering materials require a higher temperature. So you can use it for that. But typically I just keep my support material in there and it keeps it dry, maintains it as well as it does help a little bit, it seems, with feeding it a little better than just the side saddle. I mean, because it actually has the rollers in there. And to me, it seems like it moves a little smoother because I ran mine for a little while without the AMS HT while I was waiting on it to come in. And it just, I don't like the way the spool spins on that little arm that sticks out. It's kind of, it seems like at times it takes a little more pressure for the extruder to pull that filament to get it to spin. So I think it turns a little easier on those little rollers inside the box. So that's my opinion anyway.
yep, yeah, pretty much the same. When it's got its own AC cord, so it's a filament dryer that you don't have to worry about drawing too much power through the other one. And so no, you don't need it, but I would agree for all the reasons Clark said. It's kind of, if you're going to be using it a lot, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. And like I said, and it does make it nice because you can dry the filament without having to remove it from the machine. So the next day when you come out there, it's good to go. But you got to have the little brackets to mount it up top if you're going to stack it on top because there's no room once you put the other one on there. Let's see what we got.
Kevin Rich is asking, met with an electrician for the new shop, even though I do not have any 220 volt tools yet. He asked what amperage I needed. Anyone know an amp for a 220 volt CNC spindle and a 220 bandsaw? Well, if you're talking about a 220 spindle, you're probably looking at the 2.2 kW, and the VFD on there is probably going to pull about 10 amps for that one. So you can kind of gauge it on there. Bandsaw it's going to depend on your bandsaw, but you're probably going to be a little bit less than that, maybe 8 to 10 from what I've seen on your typical like 14-inch bandsaws. But if you go bigger than that, it might be a little bit more. But yeah, generally they're going to be most tools, unless you really get into start getting into like the really industrial ones, are going to be around that, I would say 8 to 10 amps. But it's definitely good try to look it up because you never know. And then also you almost want to have the tool so you know what kind of plug. I mean, you can often change them out and such, but electrician's going to ask you what kind of plug receptacle you need, and if you don't have the tool, you might not necessarily know, and then you're going to have to change out one or the other. So, but if you're just looking at circuit, I would, in a hobbyist shop like this, 220, 20 to 30 amp circuit is going to do more than you need for most anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I was fixed to say, I would think if you do a 20 or a 30, 220 circuit, you should be pretty good with that. Unless you plan on getting, like you said, some of the old, 24-inch wide planers and stuff like that. But most of those are going to have 3-phase power anyway.
Yeah.
When I build mine, I plan on putting me a couple of 220 circuits in, like maybe one on this wall and one on this wall. And then that's going to be it if I ever do build another shop. So, and then everything else will just be a whole bunch of 20 to 30 amp equipment plugs, and then some lights. Which lights these days, if you're using the LEDs, they don't draw hardly anything. So, I'm just hoping I get to build me another shop one day. Something a little bit bigger. I was riding my bike earlier today and I saw a pole barn that somebody had built it was probably about 3 times this. It was like you could have took my shop and put it in there like 3 times. And I told Brandy, I was like, that's what I need, because I could sure enough stretch my feet out in there.
I hear you on that, but I also worry about how much that would allow me to collect more stuff.
Yeah, it would. It would give me, but I still need it though. I still need it. I need more room, because like I was trying to put a bicycle together the other day, and I had to like roll tables and stuff to the walls to get a big enough area to set the bicycle in here.
You should see when I try to get a car in here.
Oh, no, we ain't even thinking about getting a car in here. That ain't happening.
Well,
that is not happening.
There's a random cat outside.
Oh, free cats.
I better not tell Carla.
You got you a free cat? Then got you a free cat. Look at there.
It's checking out the grill because I just had chicken on it.
Yeah. Let me find that picture. Where's a picture at in the shop? I know I took at least one photo. I may not have added it to my computer. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. But yeah, I had moved like everything back. I was like, I gotta have some room. And so I started like pushing stuff back, trying to make room. I had tables moved around. Yeah, that's me right there trying to, and like I'm just sliding tables around trying to get some room. And it took like all of my floor space. So yeah.
I gotta see if now I gotta see if I can find the one.
The one. What's that?
Well, there's actually 2 photos. But it might take me a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep scrolling.
Hey, you find another question.
Seth said, "Is it my TV or is Clack unusually orange tonight?" I don't guess I'm any more orange. Now, I have been out in the sun a lot more riding the bike, so my complexion has changed. I have a little more melanin this week than what I normally do. So you can see there's my watch. Here's where my watch goes. So I'm a little darker, like, all over. So, but that's from being out in the sun so much. I'll get really dark. Dun, 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 dun.
Really dark.
Yep. And see, I even have.
There's this stuff called SPF.
I even have croc feet. My wife makes fun of my croc feet because when I take my Crocs off, it looks like I still got my Crocs on.
There's this thing called sunscreen.
Yeah, but I don't burn. I just get darker.
Doesn't matter. It's all cumulative damage to your skin.
Well, I'll be all right. What else we got going on in here?
Shoot.
Yeah, I do tan. I do tan, but I don't tan except where like it's exposed. So, but all the outdoor time I've been logging lately between the grass cutting and picking up sticks and out there messing with the robot lawnmowers and now riding the bikes, it's been quite a bit. So hopefully, as it cools down, I'll have to wear sleeves again and shoes. Things will change.
Yeah, I was just commenting. I hate to say it, but I'm looking forward to fall weather because I really do enjoy fall weather. But yeah, that usually means it's like an afternoon and then we move into winter. So
yeah.
Well, darn it, where did that photo go?
Greg said class got lots of vitamin D. That's right. That's right. Oh, like I said, Brady doesn't have the gift that I have. Like if she stays out in the sun too long, she has to put on some SPF. But I've always I just get I might turn a little bit red for a day or so, but it goes away. Now, I have been burned, but it was being stupid at the river and stuff when I was younger. Seth said, any plans for being formed for a meetup at the Makers Conference yet? We've discussed that, and we're going to get together. I don't know exactly. They're still finalizing all the schedule of the events and stuff like that. I know there's going to be a couple of after hours things that I think X Tool is doing a mixer or whatever one night. So
that's the conference mixer. They're just sponsoring it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we've got some stuff that we've got to do in the evening hours a couple of the days, but it's looking like there's going to be at least a day or two that will be available, if not in the afternoon during the day. So,
well, what I'm saying is that mixer is for everyone.
Yeah, but you gotta have a ticket to get into it, though, right?
Well, yeah, but if you're coming to the conference, it's for everyone. It's just sponsored by X Tool. It's not a X Tool only thing.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was somebody that might be wanting to come and go to, a meet and greet or a meetup or whatever, and not necessarily have to buy a ticket to get into the event.
Sure.
Because I think for that one, you have to have the.
Yeah,
you have to have the mid-grade ticket, right?
Well, you probably have to have the full conference ticket instead of just the vendor show.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to specify was to go to the X Tool thing, you have to have a ticket to the event.
It's not an X Tool thing; they're just sponsoring it. It's the conference event thing.
Yeah.
Details matter.
That thing. But anyway, there will be like I said, there'll hopefully be some time that we can do it. We can do something. We'll get around to
it. Jer's saying, my boss asked me this week, I have the Bamboo P1S and just got the P2S. Do you want it? I'm like, sure, I have the A1 already. I'm guessing he's giving you the P1S because they upgraded. It's very cool. I mean, I still have mine. So I bought the P1S just shortly before the P2S came out, and then Clark bought the P2S just before the X2D came out. And I think nowadays, so I've been playing around with the X2D for maybe a week now, and it's definitely a nice upgrade over. It's definitely an upgrade over the P1S. From what I know, it is still an upgrade over the P2S, but not as great. And I would say if you're primarily doing single color or even multicolor, just like decorative kind of things, not necessarily structural, not necessarily selling, items that need smooth surface top and bottom kind of stuff, which you can still do with the P2S and such. The P1S with the dual head, it's really nice to have that support. material where you can have that interface layer. It just really helps give a better finish to your prints. I don't feel like that's as much of a benefit to people doing more of the kind of decorative, fun character, whatever things, as more like, like Clack making the Bigfoot things and such. Still, definitely a benefit to it. You can there are some like figurines that definitely need some support and could use that, but I feel like you could save some money and just get the P2S if that's more what you're wanting to do. I think when you get into some of the other materials and wanting that interface layer for sure, and you don't want to be having so many purge cycles and such, that's where I think the benefit would come in. Just kind of just grazing the surface after messing with it for a week.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just printed one earlier. That's the benefit of it. This little layer right here is what makes the X2D special. Other than that, it's very similar to the P2S as far as all the other functions. But that's pretty handy.
Maui WH is asking, any idea why my tumbler on the RA3 on the F2 is not rotating correctly? It's not rotating enough to complete the image that I am trying to burn.
Size input. Because if the size input that you put in there is not appropriate, it's not going to rotate. So that would be my first thing to check. Because you have to put in even in that Xtool software, you have to put the radius in there so that it knows how many steps to move in order to do a full turn. So, I mean, that if it's turning at all, that would be my guess. It could be that.
Yeah, I mean, first, that would be the first thing to check. Second thing would be double checking your image and that it is actually sized correctly. And it's not getting adjusted if you rotate it and things like that. It's easy to get that screwed up. But I don't know. I honestly haven't used the RA3 on the F2. I've played with the RA2 on the F1, but I need to do more playing with the F2 in the rotary. I haven't even dove into the latest version of Xtool Studio in a while. So,
well, I've used
catching up.
Yeah, I've used the F2, the RA2, and the RA3 on the F2. And like I said, it works. That would be the only thing that I could think is maybe you messed up and put the wrong measurement in there, and it's just not turning. Especially if your image looks squished or stretched, one of the two. So Kevin Rich is saying, my 10-year-old grandson asked for a 3D printer for Christmas. Think the P1S combo would be okay or too much? I mean, it depends on your budget, really.
Are you going for best grandpa?
Yeah. I mean, the A1 Mini or the A1 would be a good one to make sure it's a hobby that's going to stick,
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, if he doesn't stick with it, is this something you'd want to say, okay, fine, I'll play with it too? I think the P1S is, if you're going to get into anything but just PLA and doing fun stuff, is logical. Although I would look at the price difference between that and the P2. I haven't priced them out recently, but it might be worth that just because there are some hassle things as far as it depends on if the P1S is coming with the original AMS or the AMS2. If you get a broken filament in the original AMS, it's not the end of the world, but it is kind of a bit of a pain to tear apart and get at those PFTE tubes to clear out. And that's not necessarily uncommon per se, depending on your filament management. So maybe check into the P1S with the AMS2 if that's an option, because that'll definitely make it easier.
The P1S with the new A1 AMS2 Pro combo is currently at $579.
cheaper than I paid.
Yeah. And the same deal in the P2S with the combo is $749.
So you got a couple $100 difference there.
Yeah.
The P1S is a really good printer. I've been running that for a while as kind of my nice printer, up until I got the X2D recently, and it's going to do a lot. It's also going to be enclosed, so even if they're just printing PLA, you can add some filters to it, and it is better depending on where they're going to run it at. But that being said, I mean, the A1 you can do a lot with and be very happy in it. It'd be a little bit cheaper. So, but hey, if you got the budget and want to be, awesome grandpa of the year, yeah.
I'll tell you another thing
Go
too.
for
I'll say another thing. I don't know how people feel about Marketplace, but here lately I've been seeing some pretty good tools on Marketplace. I mean, that's it's a crapshoot sometimes, but sometimes you can get some good deals there. So
now, just knowing that some people have expressed interest in other options, and so my wife's been using the Anycubic S1 combo for a while and has been getting by with it and doing all right. It's had some quirks, and she's kind of been doing some tweaking with profiles and fan louvers and speeds and such. But a lot of people have been talking about the Centauri Carbon for a while. I missed out on the pre-order last year when they were super cheap, but now they have the Carbon 2, and they've been on sale, I think, through maybe today or tomorrow for like 20% off. And so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. They didn't reach out to me about it. I don't have a contact with Elegoo 3D printing at all, but wanted to try it out. The price was good. And she's been doing a lot with the other one and been bugging me. She's like, you can move one of those printers up by my other computer, or by your computer. So I did purchase one. And I'm going to do a video on it, but I'm going to kind of have her just run with it. I'm going to have her unbox it. I have her set it up, get it running. And while this isn't a complete newcomer to it, hopefully it's more of like your typical person that maybe is good with computers, has maybe used the 3D printer at, say, like a makerspace or something, and now is bringing one home, buying it. Because that's one of my big kind of criteria that I try to look at equipment, is like, how would this work for a person that hasn't put together 20 of these and hasn't troubleshot different machines and such, that they're buying this thing, they want to bring it home, they want to plug it in, they want to use it. So we're going to try to get that one set up with her and see how it goes, and put a video together on that one as well, because I've heard some really good things about it, as far as it's inexpensive, decent quality, and a lot of people have said it was their first 3D printer and they've had some good luck with it. Now, there's always, pick any brand, any printer, any device, there's people who have had horrible experiences with anything. So there's always going to be someone that didn't have a good experience, but we're going to see how it goes, and it'll be another one I can kind of compare, a little more open architecture, maybe a little less cloud connectivity, see how it goes. So, because that's also something that I think would be, and I talked, the owner of the 3D printing store here has used them in the past. He even wanted to carry them at one time. But he said, yeah, I would put them kind of in line with the P series of Bamboo as far as their hardware capabilities. So just something to look at as well if you're looking at 3D printers. But the Bamboo is, if you're needing something that's kind of very user friendly, that is one I can definitely say, for the most part, unless you get a lemon, they're generally pretty user friendly.
Yeah. Sounds like Kevin is saying that he's going to be using it when the kid's not around too. So either way, Kevin, like I said, if you're going to be using it also, if it's kind of a dual purpose machine, then maybe go for a little nicer one. As long as you know that it's going to get used, that would be my concern.
Yeah, it's you never want to overbuy on what you may need in the future.
Yeah. Stegmater says any of you have the new UV printer for testing the Omni Monport or Hey Gear? No, I'm supposed to get the Omni. I told Xtool when they asked me if I wanted to try one out, I told them I did not want a pre-production unit. And so this first batch of machines that everybody's doing videos with, I told them I didn't want a beta. I wanted a legit, like, you know, production run machine. And so I'm supposed to be getting one. They said it'll be toward the end of August before it ships. So there's that. I've had a couple of the other companies reach out, but I sent them back my policy on reviews, which basically just tells them what I won't do. And I hadn't heard back. So I don't know what that means. All I know is they said, hey, we'd love to send you this. We see that you've got this machine. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Read over this. And as long as you agree with it, let me know the terms and the details and we'll proceed. And I hadn't heard back. So I don't know if I didn't make the cut, I don't know. But that's where I'm at. I should be getting the Omni 01. And there's a couple of other ones. The Hey Gear folks, I think, had messaged me, and then there's another one. What's that other company? Morphos. Yeah, they had emailed me also. But like I said, and I may hear from them this coming up week because I think it was like Thursday or something when they had sent the last email. So, but I don't know. I'm not trying to take a whole bunch of machines, and I'm definitely not jumping through a bunch of hoops for them. So, if they agree with my terms, maybe, but I don't know. Right now, the Omni 01 is the only one that I have been told for sure that I have coming, and I've just been told by my Xtool person, so I don't know. It may not show up. Who knows? But
yeah, I told Xtool that they came to me too late to look at the M2 back in April, I think it was, and I don't know if I pissed them off or what, but they haven't said boo to me since. Then again, I don't have a contract with them. I mean, it's just, hey, you want to offer me something? We'll look at it. But yeah, I literally have not heard anything from them in months. I've heard, I think I got an email from a marketing agency about the Morphus or Morph, whatever, but I don't like to respond to ones that look like they're from an influencer headhunter as opposed to like an actual marketing or legit company contact. So
Kevin said you got the P3, so there's that.
Well, that was there's that, and I actually have some things I want to do with that yet as far as content, and I even ended up just buying my own. Like I bought the long lens for it and some other things so that I can do some more content with that. But I don't know. I mean, Xtool, if you're watching, reach out to me. Let's talk.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing too. I know I've heard people say that, the folks that get Xtool machines have contracts with them. That's BS. I got put on the naughty list for about 6 months because I'm not part of their partner program. There's you can tell the people that are part of their partner program because of the frequency in which their titles contain the word Xtool. They've asked me to join it. I refused because I don't want to get my content to where I feel like I'm owned or I'm controlled by any one company. So that's my thing. And it's my personal choice, and I'm in one of those positions to where I have that luxury. I'm not, they're not, going to starve me to death or take away all my money. So I don't have to worry about that. I can do as I see fit with my channel. And Steve does the same thing. We don't commit to things that relinquish control.
And part of that too is being able, some of that is they almost want you in a non-compete kind of thing, and they don't, or an exclusivity contract, I should say.
Yeah.
And unless you just want to be a marketing person, that's not great, because I want exposure to a variety of brands and types of lasers so that I can speak better to it. And so any contract that would say you're going to work with us and only us is definitely a non-starter. But
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I also, for me, I mean, the UV printing is cool. It's been great to have the UV make in my shop, but if you're not actively using it quite often, I don't care which brand you pick. They all are trying to make the, you know, the recirculation thing and the maintenance free stuff as much as easy as possible. That the UV ink has a shelf life, and if you don't use enough of it, you are going to have problems. So if you are looking at that technology, I don't care what brand it is, just be really sure that you feel you can keep it busy. It's really not a hobbyist tool. If it is, you need to like have a co-op with other people that'll keep that machine busy. Because you will be spending a ton of money on wasted ink, possibly frozen up lines and clogged print heads and such. If you can keep it busy, awesome. You know, it's great technology. If you're in business of customizing items, definitely it's something to look at. As a hobbyist, unless you have just a ton of money just to keep pumping things through as giveaways and such, I don't know that it's the technology you need in your shop.
Yeah. It's fun. I don't use it as much as I should though. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
It's just not something that I use that much. And I feel like there's a market for it, but my problem is I've already got the workload established for my shop that I want, and I don't have a bunch of employees or anything like that. So it's like, you know, I'm not expanding. Now I'm going to make some like decals for the e-bikes and stuff like that, you know, that I feel like that's a, you know, something I can use it for to kind of customize those and so forth. But I just don't have a lot of use for it, unfortunately. So
Erickson Woodworking is asking, what's the dates for the conference? Been mulling over starting to attend these types of events. So the Next Level Maker Conference is the 27th through the 29th of August down in Grapevine, Texas, just north of Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so you do want to get registered soon, especially if you're going to stay on site. The hotel block expires in like 2 days, 3 days, I think.
Yeah, I dropped the link down there too.
And so yeah, you kind of got to get that buttoned up. Now you can just get the vendor show free ticket and, you know, go in and talk with the vendors and hang out with people. But to get into the full conference, all the after hours things, all the classes, free headshots, I think some of the you know, like the hangout collaboration areas and such, then you will need the full ticket. So but yeah, that's coming up here in 4 weeks. So time to get that one. Now there's also another one kind of the same weekend in Atlanta called it's Carbide Create is doing a meetup alongside IWF, the big woodworking, the kind of more of the industrial woodworking show in Atlanta.
Did you say Carbide Create or Carvera? Or not Carvera? Now you got me.
Now, yeah, it's not Carbide Create. It's Carvco. Sorry,
Carvco. Yeah. I was looking through my apps. I was like, okay, let me look for it.
So
yeah, and I think isn't IWF also? Didn't we decide that it was over there in Atlanta too?
Yeah, it's over that same weekend, but that's more of like if you're into like industrial woodworking kind of stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, the vendor only tickets are free, but you still have to register, and then you have to pay parking and things like that too. But
yeah. Rick Saskin, Steve, is that a Blackstone 22 grill on the back upper left shop corner of the shop?
It is. So yeah, I bought that a few years ago, wanting to see if I'd enjoy a grill, and I do, but I don't like the portable one because I have to take it out and put it away all the time. And so I've been looking to replace it with more of just a standalone one that I can put a cover over. So yeah, it ventures out a few times when there's like family gatherings out somewhere and whatnot, but
Maybe
I
it
probably
makes
just
a
need to.
camping trip one day.
I need to find someone local and just give it away, really, because it's just every time someone wants to use it, I'm like, well, let me get a layer of sawdust off of it.
Yeah, it's this. Everything tastes like cedar.
Cedar, walnut, oak. Don't breathe too deeply. That's not
Eric
good.
says, anyone have the Snap Maker U1 or have thoughts? I think Jack's got it, right? Ain't that the one he's got? That's got the multiple.
Yeah,
heads?
Jack's got it, and I feel bad because there's a couple of viewers have it and they like it. I would love to play with that one or the Creator 5 and or any of the true like multi-head units, but I'm kind of busy right now, and but we'll see. I can see that might be a if there's any holiday deals, Black Friday deals, that might be a self-purchased Christmas present.
Yeah, I think Mark's saying he's got it.
There you go, Mark. Yeah, he's got one.
Yeah, I knew there was a couple folks said they got it, but I can't keep up either. But yeah, multi-printing, multicolor. It's that seems to be the way right now as far as
savings. Not only like he says in filament, but the time the time it takes for those swaps is ridiculous in how much it adds to it and the purging of it. It can double the time on a print. So yeah, it definitely looks cool and something I want to play around with, but I'm kind of have a lot of things going in through now until probably that when the snow flies.
Norbert talking about me not wanting the Omni. I'm not saying I don't. It seems like a nice machine, and I would really. I mean, X-Tool has usually they execute the machines well as far as the overall experience. So I'm not saying I'm not gonna like the machine. I'm just currently I don't have a lot of work for it. I got on a roll for like the first few months. I got on a roll. I was like jobs, but then I don't know if I don't know. I hit a dry patch. I haven't used it a whole lot. I've got some name tags that I may be going to do, but it's for a nonprofit organization, so I'm not going to be making any money. But at least I can use the machine. So I've got some small little projects, but not any, big killer jobs. But I do have it in the house now in my new space in there. You can see that it's not sitting on my little rolling cart over there anymore. So I do like that better because it's not out here breathing all this dust and stuff. So, because I was afraid it was going to tear it up sitting out here, but I did a test print since this went in the house, and it seems to be doing fine. So.
Seth says UV printers are like boats. It's easier and significantly cheaper to find a friend that has one versus it's a good analogy. It's like, I don't want a boat. I want to have a couple friends with boats.
Yeah. Oh, that's about the truth of it. Like I said,
it's kind of like the same thing with sawmills. I have lots of friends with sawmills. I don't need one.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a special machine. When you need it. But like I said, I'm just not heavily leaned into doing jobs that require it right now. So,
Rob, I really hope. I mean, it could blizzard next week and then go right back up into the 90s. So I'd love it to cool down, but not that much. But you never know. It's way too early for a blizzard. Although we just had like the 31st, we did have a cool down and it was a new record low high, but it was like 77 degrees. So yeah, because it was a cloudy day and kind of a cool front. So we've been hot all July. We had a couple of cool down days, and now we're creeping back up there. But yeah, it's going to start trending down.
Yeah. Brian says, what was your new space before it was your new space? It actually was my youngest daughter's bedroom. She moved across the hall when my oldest daughter moved out. She took the room I think it's like a foot bigger, like both directions, and it has a bigger closet. So she moved across the hall to my oldest daughter's bedroom after we painted it and did a little redo on it. And so then it was going to be basically just a spare bedroom, but I decided that we had to repaint it and all that anyway. And so we did a spruce up on it, and it is now kind of our multi-purpose room. So it's kind of like our spare bedroom, crafter room, office, studio, like multi-purpose room. And we've still got it in case the oldest daughter wants to come and stay the weekend or something like that. Or Steve wants to come visit. It's set up for sleeping quarters, but it also doubles as my office / UV printing area right now. So it looks pretty cool. I did a little short live in there the other day. I'll try to do more in there, but the computers, it's like it chews up every resource it has to do a multi-camera live. So I had to be careful.
Rick Morrison says, thanks to some very generous donations, I just took possession of an Alien Cell X1 laser. I haven't unboxed it yet. Any thoughts? I mean, that's awesome. That's right now. Other than I don't have a riser for it, but 90% of what I do is 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch material anyway. It's kind of my go-to diode laser for its size, its power, just its speed. So yeah, I mean, that's a nice replacement for your stuff, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Yeah, we both have some videos on it, so check them out if you have questions. Hopefully we can answer them there. Otherwise, bring them back here.
Yeah, I like I said, mine's sitting right over there. It's a good machine. It's powerful. It's got all the like interoperability between the fan, the air assist, and all that. Like everything works together really sweet. I do like the little built-in, basically the built-in tablet in front of it, so that you can like do your maintenance and you can do all the things and save files to it. It's sweet. So congratulations. Glad you got you a good one. So.
It does take up a bit of space though. It's like a big old pancake griddle kind of, it's just like boom, it's there on your it's going to take up the area.
Yeah. Now the one thing that I will say is if you're venting it and it's like going straight out, it just keep an eye on those two little foam inserts. Those things require cleaning quite often. And I'm not saying that it's recommended to take those out, but if you're like me, after about the third time of having to clean them, you'll probably take those out. But you can do that at your own decision. But they tend to catch a lot of dirt. I mean, I know it's probably saving the fan a little bit of a headache, but I was filling them up quick. So.
Rusty.
What in the world are you doing over there, sir?
Yeah. These are, well, it's not going to come through on there, but you can definitely see the stuff on there. And then if I showed you the...
What fell out of them?
Well, hold on.
Now, the good news is those are easy to clean up. Like literally you can like wash them in the sink and set them on the counter and a windowsill and dry them. I mean, they're not hard.
I'm due for some maintenance.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Chris says, did you sort the issue out with not being able to see the chat? I'm not sure if it wasn't because it was the members only the other day, Chris. And the way that I set it up in StreamYard was I did it as I went through StreamYard and I set it up as a private, but then I changed it in YouTube to members only. And I don't know if maybe that caused the problem.
So StreamYard can't see it because it's not a member.
That explains.
So you need to bring up the studio page for the live stream when you do those, and then you'll be able to see the
chat. Since it's only going to YouTube, I could just literally just output straight to YouTube too. So yeah.
Well, you could do it straight from YouTube, but you can still use StreamYard for everything. But if you want to see the chat, you'd have to You got to fire up
Yeah.
the.
I was wondering why, but that makes sense now because StreamYard couldn't view it. I got you. That makes sense because I knew that I was sitting there like, there's no comments. So
Yeah. So
I thought everybody was just mad at me or something.
So let's see. No, can't show that. There's I'll show you afterwards the thing I do. I even have it up during this one so I can monitor the StreamYard thing, but I also have the the actual YouTube studio part going. As a matter of fact, that if I wanted to, I could click a little button and insert an ad, but I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, that explains it because, like I said, I knew I set it up and I set it up as private, and then I went into YouTube itself and changed it to members. So that explains it exactly. I never thought about that, but I knew it had to have been something to do with it being a members because we've used this now over 100 episodes and we've never had that kind of problem before. So Rob said boycott class. Hey, you never know. You never know. Sometimes it can happen. They're wanting to know. Wait a minute.
We both clicked. I was just gonna say, yeah, the state fair season's coming up for Minnesota, and seeing as we do have the best state fair in the nation, it's definitely worth the stop. So
I haven't been to a state fair since I was a kid.
I mean, neither have I, but we do have one of the best state fairs out there.
Sim the Turnery says, Steve, how did your wife get on setting up the Elegoo Carbon 2?
It showed up Friday, and unfortunately we've just been busy. So because I do want to, I told her, I said I want her to set it up and whatnot, but I also need to kind of like get video of stuff so I can share the experience in the process. So hopefully we'll get to that here in the next day or two if things don't get crazy. So
there you go, Steve.
How do you replenish it? Well, the the one thing that we're using right now is the Fume Clear. What is it? The 350.
Yes.
And so doing some tests on that, it's a little bit more substantial than your typical desktop ones that you've seen in the past. As a matter of fact, I think it's even slightly bigger than the AP2 from Xtool. But this was going to be probably the bare minimum that you can do. And you're still going to have filters you got to replace, but this one has a nice wire mesh kind of top pre-filter before even the foam particulate filter. So it's looking promising as that you, with a little bit of maintenance on cleaning that top one, it should hopefully last a little bit longer. But yeah, it's if you're not going to, if you're trying to just keep the air inside your space, you're going to be spending some money to do it safely. Because I think these units, even on sale, are like what, $800?
Yeah, it was 7 and some change. I think the other day it was right at. I mean, you might as well say 800.
Yeah, I mean after like tax and shipping, I'm pretty sure you're going to be up there.
And then, of course, you've got perishables inside because of the filter boxes and stuff. But they may last. Yeah, $749.99. And well, there's a pop up. There's another pop up. But that's it right there. It's the FC 350, and like Steve said, it's got basically like a strainer almost up top, and then it's got some pre-filter elements, just the regular washable stuff, and then you get into these cartridges here. But these are beefy. These are big, like aluminum boxes with the stuff in them. So I mean, it is definitely more layers. But at the same time, like Steve said, you've got this little screen here that's more or less a piece of stainless steel or aluminum. I'm not sure. I haven't checked it, but it's one of the two. And then you have these other little layers here. So hopefully it does a good job. I mean, so far I ran like probably half a day the other day. I ran the machine in here. on my 40 watt doing my stove covers that's piled up over there, and I couldn't smell it or anything like that. When I first turned it on, there was a little hint of like a smell of wood came out, but I'm not too sure that wasn't just the air inside it because it had been sitting still, not being running, and it kind of gave me a little puff of what the filters smelled like. After that, I couldn't smell the smoke, or it didn't get foggy in here or anything like that. And I set because the way this one's set up, it doesn't have a speed controller. It has a volume controller, like a flow control. So like Steve was saying the other day, and I noticed it on this one, you don't set the fan to a certain speed. You set it to a certain volume of airflow. And so if something happens that restricts the airflow a little bit, you can actually kind of hear it like downshift a little bit and pull to try to accomplish that particular level of volume. So I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it does appear that it's monitoring the flow as opposed to the speed of the fan. But yeah, I ran it for a good bit the other day, and it did a good job. The enclosure never had smoke lingering in there or anything. Done a good job. So far so good.
Yeah, I've got mine hooked up to the IKEA Master right now, but I've been doing like tumblers and such, so it's
minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't pulled the filters out of it. I don't want to mess with it right now because to hook it up to EnclosureZilla, I had to take my fan out and like my ducting loose and all that. And I used that little boot that they sent with it, the rounded one, and I put it inside the enclosure and pulled it to make it, because it's like, you know what I'm talking about? It's made out of what is it? Dang it.
Like silicone or something?
Yeah, silicone. So I pulled it up in there to get a good fit, and then I used some tape on the other side to kind of hold it in place. So I don't want to go messing with it a whole lot because it's just temporary, but it didn't leak any air. So like I knew it was working really well because when I shut the lid of my enclosure and I turned it on, you could watch the glass on the enclosure suck in. And so I was like, okay, that's a little much. And so I backed the speed down to the point to where I could just barely tell that it had some negative pressure in there. And then I ran it like that. And it did a good job. And that way, you know, two things, it's not putting any pressure on the motor. It's not going to overheat or anything. And as well as hopefully it's allowing the air to kind of filter through the charcoal and stuff like that a little longer and do a little better job of getting out some of the particulates and the VOCs and stuff. But yeah, so far so good. Awesome. Brian said Minnesota State Fair fired butter on a stick.
Fried, but
what the heck is? Oh, okay, I got you. I was going to say fried butter. How do you fry butter?
They do it. They fry everything up there, and yeah, it's a big. I forget. It was a couple weeks ago. It was like the new fair food like reveal day, and so no, it's a pretty good event. It draws a lot of people and has a lot of cool things there. But yeah, that's my problem. Well, twofold is that there's just too many people that it's a bit chaotic, and it's always right around the start of the fall semester for us. So it's usually before public school starts, but college starts a couple weeks earlier. And so we're always super busy. It's hard to get away. So I haven't gone in many years either. So.
Huh. Well, I'll have to check that out. I'll have to go find some videos or something.
Yeah, Tim saying there's some scammers claiming to be Morpho that contacted him, trying to spoof the marketing company and such. And yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of times, unless I can verify the domain and the contact or have another creator who has said, yeah, this is legit. Those, quite frankly, most of them, I have two layers to my email filtering. One's just your typical Outlook junk folder, and it might go there if it thinks it's suspicious. But if it really knows, there's advanced spam filtering. I don't even see it unless I proactively go into the log and look. And so a lot of things end up in there. But the printer itself, I think Sam got one, and from what I looked at it briefly, it's a little bit bigger of a unit, but it does have some cool things. Like it has the ink circulation maintenance type stuff, but it also has just reservoirs that you fill the ink. So from a lack of waste of all these plastic cartridges and wasting 10% of the ink that never gets used or more, I like that aspect of it. But like I say, I just don't I don't do enough with the UV printers to justify having an even bigger machine than the E1 taking up space in my my working areas. So
yeah, and that's me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not over here knocking on nobody's door trying to get one of them, because it's just, like I said, the O1, the X tool, I feel like that's going to be a good machine. And like I said, if it falls in with being able to use XCS with it plus the UV plus the P2, I think I'll like that being like an ecosystem type thing. But I'm not trying to get a bunch more UV printers in the house, because I've got room on that little table over there for maybe one more, and that's it. And to be honest, if I get the other one and I like it, the UV might be get rehomed. You know, I mean, because I just don't have the work for them. So,
Maui's asking for a little more help on this. My tumbler is 88 millimeters. What image size should I try? So if 88 millimeters is your diameter, you want to calculate that into your circumference.
okay, 88. What do you say? 88. 88 times 3.14.
So that's going to be about 275, 276.
276.32.
So that needs to be the width of your image.
Yep.
Yeah, 88 times pi.
Mm-hmm. Typically in Xtool software, if you put it in there, you can change it to perimeter, and it'll show you the value, and then you can just use that to do the frame. I've got, matter of fact, I've got a video that I did. It's with the P2, but it's a recent video that I did doing tumblers with the RA3. So you as far as the software goes, that part would be the same. The machine's going to be different. But if you're struggling with it, maybe there's some morsels of information in there that might make it easy for you. So I'll get you a link, and you can see how I set up this one. It's on the P2, so the machine's going to be totally different. But the software, it's using Xtool software as of June the 10th when I did the video. And so the process of setting up the frame and everything for the tumbler will be the same. So maybe that'll help you. Maybe there's some little nuggets in there that'll help make it make sense, because it's, once you figure it out and you get your head wrapped around it, it's not as hard.
I'd just like to reinforce this a little bit.
Sure you would. But then the tumbler would not be done. Oh. But yeah, when you put the measurements in there, I'm pretty sure you can change the drop down from diameter to perimeter, and it actually shows you the value, which is basically just the number times pi.
Not Bored Woodworking is asking, how many episodes do you all have now? I've been around since 2024. Well, I tried to put it in the title, and this one is 191.
Yep, 191. It's a lot of them, and that's 191 consecutive weeks that we've had the show.
Yeah, we plan on doing 200 and then retiring.
Not really. That's 3.67 years for those math folks out there. Whew. That's 3.5 years.
Seems like so much longer.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It's kind of like they say, married people don't live longer. It just feels that way.
Stephen
Nothing?
Tucker said, how did you guys meet? Well, it's a long story. Steve reached out to me on Tinder. No, just
I didn't know you were on Tinder.
I'm not. I don't guess you are either, but
And who was that I did reach out to?
we actually just through the content, like through making videos. I would comment on his, he would comment on mine, and then it got to where we were comparing notes. And I think it all started. We were asking, like, one of us had a question and was like, "Hey, have you had this issue with this machine or something like that?" And then we started talking, and then we're like, "You know what? We should just do a live one day," because I had been doing some lives by myself.
Yeah,
and you were in the comments.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is you know, I've been doing videos off and on for a while, and I was starting to put out some laser ones. And then there's this guy, this redneck guy, that started doing these lives that was trying to like give people advice. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I was trying to be in the comment section, clarifying everything, make sure that he wasn't steering any people wrong. And pretty soon, I just had to try to do it real time and live, and that's where we're at. So it's really just my form of community service, and I got to talk with the judge to see how much longer I have to do this. I'm not sure. It might be a life sentence, but we'll see.
Oh my gosh. Y'all see what I had to put up with? Yeah, it was sometime in 2022. He was in the comment section. And then let's see. And then we did the I think, yeah. It's like January of 23, I think, when we first started doing it.
No, I think it was just before Christmas. It was.
Oh no, never mind. Yeah, it's November.
Yeah.
Yep. November, December the 4th, 2022. That's gonna be it. I bet. I have to go back and look, but yeah, because I was doing some lives on my own, just like random setting it. Like I think I was on a laptop setting at this table right here, and then it just started from there. And we've worked together on lots of stuff since then. And it's we agree on a lot of things, but we strongly disagree on a lot of other things. So it's not like we, neither one of us like my robot's just now going back to park. What in the world? That thing's working night shift tonight.
Chicken livers are only for cat food.
No, they work good for catching fish too, and they really good if you fry them up, eat them up in French fries.
Catfish.
And some brown gravy. Put some brown gravy on them chicken livers. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't start. I'm trying to lose weight. Like, hey man, chicken livers. Chicken livers will work.
What?
Yeah, chicken livers. They protein, except for
except for the only way that you showed them to me is they were fully battered and like.
I mean, it's a little bit of bread on that crust, but it's not bad. We could do a thin batter. That would work.
Okay. Seth Rosenberg's asking in response to the fume clear, it's not the cost of the unit. What do new filters cost? So if you need a full stack of everything, yeah, it's $300. But they have they provide you with, I think, a starter set of 5 pre-filters. And the pre-filters are about $7 a piece. If you need there's the HEPA filter, which is more of the glass fiber one. That one's about $80. And then the activated carbon, which there's 2 of them, those are $100 a piece. So yeah, they do, it's consumables and they will add up. And that's, not only do you need to spend enough on the right unit that's going to handle the airflow and have the volume in the filters to be able to handle it, you are eventually going to need to replace those. And so, yeah, it's definitely a cost. And so you got to kind of weigh how long do those filters last and what are their replacement costs versus are you just paying utilities to replace the heat or cooling in your shop area? And can you do that? I mean, in some cases, you might not have an easy way to heat or cool your shop, and therefore you don't want to dump the air out and it's worth the cost. But
yeah,
there's no way around it. If you're filtering inside and not bringing in fresh air and dumping out the dirty air, it's going to cost some money.
Yeah, kind of like that enclosure, which you can't see in right now because it's dark in there. But I actually have that one set up to where it pulls air in from outside and then blows it back outside, which Steve will point to you. That would not work in his part of the country during the winter because it would like frost over the lenses on the machine from the sudden burst of cold air. So
Yeah,
it's different options work in different places.
6 to 7 months out of the year, it's not an option here.
Yeah.
Chuck Peterson says, just finished my first project on the Genmitsu 40 Pro Max. Well, cool. If you're part of the Facebook group, Laser Engraving Community, it'd be cool to share it out there.
Yeah.
It's always good to get that first project. I mean, even if it's the first one off a machine, it's always nice to kind of see it come out. And it's definitely a different, subtractive technology. It's a different tool, and you start thinking differently about the things you can do with it. So
yeah, the next thing you know, you'll be 3D printing something and then cutting another piece for it on the CNC and then taking and engraving it all with a laser or a UV printer. I mean, you start combining tools and then you come up with some really unique things. So congrats.
Stephen Tugger saying or asking, do you have a recommendation for PSI for air assist using shop air on an open gantry diode? It's hard to give this is one of those things you just kind of have to run some tests and kind of adjust it and see how your results are, because your PSI, it really depends on your hose size, how far you are from the laser to the compressor. Are you taking the reading at the compressor or at the, right before the nozzle? A lot of factors are going to change there. So you're going to need to do some do some cut tests and just adjust that PSI up or down to where you're getting the quality you need. A lot of times for me on shorter runs and using like that 1/4 inch hose that goes into most inlet ports, I might be around 20 PSI max. Sometimes as low as 6 to 8. But I've heard other people say they've had to crank it up to 60. So it's going to take a little bit of a trial and error, but if you have short runs and decent airflow, it's probably not going to need to be that high.
Yeah, I would adjust it in the cut if you can. While it's cutting, adjust your regulator and get it to where you find that you have the best appearance on your material. And one thing that I will stress is make darn sure you got plenty of air filters on there to get the water and everything out, because if you spit a little bit of that water that's in your compressor onto a lens as it's engraving, you're gonna be needing some lenses. So I've got dual water separators on my big enclosure right now. I've got one that's before the regulator and one after the regulator. That way it because when the air expands past the regulator, sometimes I would pick up a little bit of water. So I went ahead and added another one. So I've got like failovers, and I haven't had any problem with it since I did that. So. Jake said he didn't know he was watching a comedy show. Hey, you never know what's going to happen here. It's Steve will be eating a stick of butter, or I mean, you never know.
I mean, I put plenty of butter on the chicken that I grilled, but
then they put soap in their fish. I mean, it's
lye. You boil it in lye. You don't put soap in it. And I don't eat that stuff anyway.
Mark says, I found Clack searching YouTube way back when I bought my old X-Tool D1 10 watt. Saw some hillbilly flying a drone into a shack. I basically learned how to use a laser from him and Steve. Hey, it is what it is. It's good. That's good stuff. I still got that machine. Matter of fact, it's hanging right there behind that mirror. I made it a little plaque and everything.
I don't have the original one because I did hand that off to a friend to use, but I do have the D1 20 watt. And then my other big red and black laser that I started with, like 10 years ago, that another friend has as well. So.
Yeah.
Nostalgia can bite you with hoarding tendencies. So it's you want to move them out.
Yeah, Heat Stroke at 355 says, "Does a restaurant have brown gravy for chicken livers? I need some gravy on mine." Yes. Yeah, if it's a place around here that serves livers, they're gonna have brown gravy.
Okay, the one restaurant that he took me to that he ordered chicken livers at, even the waitress went, "What the no."
That's just because she was just one of them anti-chicken liver people. That's it.
You mean being right?
Hey, my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter wasn't really a fan, but my youngest daughter will eat chicken livers like they going out of style. We go to a restaurant, we go to that cafe that I took you to, she'll order them. Like we've got a gas station in town that sells them, and she's like, "Daddy, you gonna stop and get us some chicken livers?" I'm like, "Heck yeah!" So hey, I'm carrying on the tradition.
Now, to be fair, I took you to a quick trip up here, so you've experienced it.
Yeah, I actually stopped at 2 more on the way through Indiana as well.
I'm glad you got to experience that as a good option for your travels. They do sell sushi, so that is gas station sushi that you could buy.
Truck stop sushi. I just don't know about that. It just sounds like a health violation.
Well, that's one of the few places I'd plausibly trust it from. JR says, "I've got the Fume Clear XL300. It's like a color printer. You'll spend a lot more on consumables over time than the unit itself. Be strategic though. Not all the filters clog up at the same rate." Yeah, it's one of those things that if you use it when you need to use it, but not when you don't. Like maybe you can exhaust part of the time, but on like the super hot or super cold days, you maybe run the filter, and you keep up on the maintenance of the screen and even maybe the particular ones. It's definitely an option, but yes, you're going to spend money to make it work over the long run.
Doctor says something about a fan not cutting on. I'm not sure what. The little diaphragm pump is not cutting it. Oh, he's talking about the air assist. Yeah. Now, I will tell you this too. Depending on what machine it is, me and Steve have this little trick that you can you can do is if the machine has a really large like exit pupil, you can actually take a piece of tape, like painter's tape, and put over it, and then let the laser punch a hole through that painter's tape, and you can increase the efficiency of your air assist doing that. Now, that's just for testing purposes to see if you need to change some stuff. If you leave the tape on there, you do so at your own risk. But that is one way of like basically beefing up the air assist temporarily, because the laser will punch a hole through the tape just big enough for the beam, and that'll constrict the airflow down to a small enough pupil size that it'll actually increase the effectiveness sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. So I know we both did that in videos.
Yeah, it's definitely a temporary kind of test and fix, because that laser will continue to kind of radiate around it, and it's going to slowly get bigger and possibly be a bit of a fire risk. So if it does fix it, then you want to look at what's more permanent fix to restrict that nozzle or increase the flow. But,
yeah. And sometimes you can like maybe get a different nozzle tip for it or something, depending on what machine it is. Because I know, what was it, Comgrow or Commarker? No, it was Comgrow. Came out with the air assist kit, and it had like a hole in the end of it as big as your finger, and it just wouldn't work. But then after people complained, later on they come out with a different like screw-on tip for the D1 that actually had a smaller exit pupil, and it worked much better, even with the all the other parts being exactly the same. So
yeah,
it's the details. Sometimes I don't think they test this stuff before they send it out.
Yup. Sanders asking, Clark, did you ever do a tumbler on the longer B140? If so, how did it do?
On the B1, I'm sure I did. I've done tumblers on most every machine I've ever had. 40 watt. I mean, the blue lasers, they do well on tumblers, but you've got to make sure you defocus and set your LPI and everything correctly. Because with a 40 watt, especially, you can really discolor stainless steel and even cause it to dimple or recess if you get it too hot. So that's some of the negatives with a blue laser doing tumblers is you can actually cause the area that you're engraving will actually recess because of the heat. Like the heat will draw it up. So you have to be careful. But yeah, the longer B1 40 watt. I think I even with that machine, if I'm not mistaken, I think I ran the chuck, the Atom Stack chuck with it because that was like for several machines that was my go-to chuck. So, but any 40 watt blue will do a decent job.
See, even people that do it for a side gig and with mini lasers also burn up a few lenses that way. And he actually says, I've been looking at Harbor Freight compressed air dryer. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I mean, it'd be another investment to add that. But if you're, when you're putting that through like a Thunder laser or something or other, and you want to keep your business going, it's probably worth looking into some more proactive measures.
Yeah, if you lay your lines out correctly, and you can put water, like you can build water traps into the lines to where you have a low spot, and that's where your water trap is. And I know a lot of places you can buy basically like a automatic discharge for it, so that like every 24 hours it'll open and purge and let the water come out or whatever. That would probably be the best way to do it, but again, you're throwing money at it too. I have to walk outside and just like crack the valve on the bottom of my air compressor and let it bleed out and then tighten it back up. I don't have an automatic system or anything.
I have to wheel mine outside and do it.
Yeah. Well, mine's outside the shop under a little awning or whatever. So.
That's not going to work up here.
Yeah, no, yours it would probably freeze in the wintertime.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I'd have condensation in the lines then.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way here. We're good on that.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look there. There's Rick. Rick's 2 cents.
Hey, Rick. Good seeing you. Here's one that maybe you've looked at this as well. Of Fuzzy D. I just bought my first laser for my retirement side hustle. We Create Vision Pro. I've heard talk about needing a cable guard. Should I get one? If so, where? I'm in Canada. There are some. So yeah, the cable on there, depending on what you got, it sometimes isn't quite. Let's see. They've gone both ways. They've gone too flexible and they've also gone too rigid, and so it will bind up and either the cable itself will break, or they give you then the more flexible one, and then it tends to fall out and then it gets pinched in the wheels. And so there are some 3D printed options out there to like put in some stiffeners in the right areas to try to encourage it to curl properly. Or there are some people that have completely replaced that whole guide with a cable chain. So you might want to look at either of those two options. It's sometimes intermittent. Some of them are fine. Clax had the Pro where he didn't run into this issue. I went through 4 or 5 cables before I gave up on the machine. Because it just kept giving me problems and getting pinched and eventually breaking. So it just seems a little bit of luck of the draw if you get a good one that's bent in the right direction and doesn't fold back on itself or not. But look into the 3D printed options for some of the kind of the guides that it clips to, and that generally seems to fix it. And if you don't have a 3D printer, maybe I think there's a couple of people that'll even sell you those parts online as well. But yeah, if just the weird, quirky little issue. The other thing that people have maybe talked about is the actual air hose, and I think what is it? The lip of the guard for the cable is real sharp, and it keeps rubbing on it, and eventually rubs through.
Yeah, it had it was stamped, and so
Yeah.
depending on whether it was a Monday or a Friday machine and how sharp the stamp was, it'd have a little lip that was like a little razor blade.
Yeah, so you might want to soften that, and or even just you can get.
I just took a piece of sandpaper and like
you can just knock the edge down, and usually that's fine. You could even just run some electrical tape on it. I've done other things where I have this like model airplane fuel tubing. It's like a silicone tubing that you can kind of put as a guard over it. Just some kind of fit and finish things you might want to just give it a good inspection on. So
yeah. But other than that, my Vision Pro worked okay, but there were bunches of people having problems with those cables, and I think it was the way they were bending them and putting them in the packaging material. They all had a crease, and if you got lucky and yours was bent the appropriate angle, it acted like a spring and it worked okay. But yeah, I know Steve was pulling his hair out about his.
Yeah, I know other people
doing
too.
That? I'm like, no, and I don't want it to. So quit jinxing me.
Yeah, it's really too bad they didn't just go with a cable chain to begin with, because it would have probably meant a lot. People would have been a lot more happier, and if you're, they would have been. I can't imagine how many cables they've shipped out to try to resolve that issue. But
yeah, just the shipping alone. Well, mine showed up and there was 2 of them in the box.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, this is suspicious. That's like when you buy a car and it comes with like extra parts, and you're like, well, why do I need this?
Or when they're pushing the extended warranty a little too hard, you're like, should I be worried?
Yeah, I opened it up and I'm like, what's this extra cable for? And I'm like, oh no. And then Steve's like, hey, mine's making this weird noise.
Yeah.
Yuri Cheese says, nice looking Creality laser right there behind you. Yeah, it is. It is. And
hashtag Clack gets all the cool toys.
Whatever. And I'm happy to report that I got out here this morning and I installed the 40-watt blue laser in it and did some testing. And believe it or not, this is 3mm basswood, but a Galvo laser is actually cutting 3mm basswood at 16 millimeters a second at 100% power. Now that's good. That's not the speed that I'm running. Naturally, I knocked it down a little bit. But I was running 12. I think I was doing 12 at 85 is what I decided to run, just to, give myself a little margin. And I had 1 or 2 little small pieces. I was cutting out some snowflakes earlier, and one of these little small triangles in the middle, I had to take my little skewer and just kind of tap it to knock it out. It didn't fall out on its own. So far so good. And one thing that I don't even know if Creality knows about this or not. But with Galvos, a lot of times you don't have air assist. And so when you're cutting, flames can be a real pain. But I'm running the air purifier with this one because they sent me the air purifier with another machine, and I kept it to use with this guy if it ever showed up. And because of the way that the air purifier works with this machine, when it's engraving, it's just barely pulling air, because it's just keeping the smoke out of the machine. But when it engages into the cut, it ramps up. Now it gets a little noisy, but it ramps up the air extraction to the point to where there's so much airflow going across the work area that you can see it trying to make a flame, but there's just the air's moving too much. And so that's why, if you look, there's very little scorching on here. And I thought about doing was turning off the air purifier and doing a cut, and then turning it on and doing a cut and showing the difference, because that was something I didn't really think about. But this thing has so much airflow that it kind of sort of acts like a whole work area air assist in a way, because it keeps the air moving around. So I'm probably going to work that into my video to where I do like the same file, but do it with the air on and with the air off and show the difference, because that was pretty impressive that I didn't have any scorching. But yeah, so I've been playing around with that. And of course, we all know that. I mean, the blue diodes just do an awesome job of engraving. So yeah, that's it. It's the calibration process. The only thing that I have a question about, and Yuri may know, is now that I have calibrated this module and I've calibrated my fiber module, if I swap them back, do I have to recalibrate or does it remember the calibration? That's going to be my question, because if it remembers the calibration, the swapping is going to be really fast. If it doesn't, that adds about 5 minutes for all the calibrations. So we'll see. But the video's coming though, and I now have 2 modules for it.
I'm gonna. This is gonna have to be like the Rolly Lasermatic, where I'm gonna have to drive, 1,600 miles.
Yuri, tell him to talk to Steve, please. Yuri, I mean, tell him. Hashtag Steve needs hashtag Steve needs a T1.
Well, now you got me all like jealous because how well it's cutting with the blue.
It's doing a really good job. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all know I can be critical. And I don't pull no punches when it comes to machines. And the only argument right now that anybody could have that I think would be valid is that there are other machines, and even the G3 right there, the G3, you can just push a button and go from blue to fiber. That is true that you can't do that with the T1, but I got the 20-watt fiber, I got the blue, fixing to have the UV, maybe even a 60-watt MOPA in one machine. So you know what I mean? So if you're only wanting the 2 form factors, like if you only want blue and some type of a fiber, then yeah, other machines do that and you don't have to swap anything around. But if you want all of the different flavors, then that's the only game going right now that I know of that you can do that many different configurations. And so for the people that work in a garage and they have very little space to allocate, you have this, and then you have some lenses and some modules. And I do plan to also create myself a 3D printed like box for the modules, because right now I'm using the box that it came in to house my extra module, which is fine because it's foamed and all that. But yeah, I would really like it if I had like, a 2-piece 3D printed box to go around it or something.
You get a little sustainer system and I'll stack them up.
Yeah, but so far I'm loving it. The 40-watt blue is probably will be the most used other than UV around my shop. So I got it in there and been testing it just in case I decide to use it on a job or something. And so far it's awesome. The camera is still super accurate. I did today in some of my testing, I was doing a 0.5 millimeter circle, and like it was still like when I would put it in the work area and burn it, it was touching the 0.5 millimeter circle on the camera. So far so good. I'm liking it. They did really good on it, Yuri. So far, I haven't found any major quirks. Like I said, the limo tip might have been a bit much, but I get it. They wanted to make it safe because you can't see in there. You can see in there better with the blue module than you can the IR. Like you can actually see what's going on because the blue kind of lights it up a little bit better. But yeah, but I'm digging it. I'm liking the machine. It's slowly becoming like now that I got the blue and the fiber, it's definitely, and the air purifier is a game changer. That's something the G3 can't do. The comm markers can't do. That air purifier is it's working really well. So cool. I'm glad I got that too. But if they happen to have an extra air purifier sitting around like the one I got and a T1, and it was to fall off of a truck in Mankato, I'm sure Steve would appreciate it.
But see, just not tomorrow because I won't have my van back till later. Yeah. That'd be quite the haul on the back of the e-bike.
Yeah, and see, I'll show you on my B-roll camera here. I done got my I did a little engineering and made myself like a little shelf down there on the bottom of that roll around desk. and mounted that air purifier right below the machine. And it works off of wireless. And so, like I said, anytime I do a cut or whatever, that thing will spin up. It also has the particulate meter on the front of it and everything. So it's pretty cool. Now, again, I don't know how long the filters are going to last because I've been using it with 3 different machines so far. I used it with the Creality. What was it? The Pro, the A1 Pro.
A1. Yeah, you had the regular A1.
Yeah, I used it with the A1 during the testing of it, and then I used it with the A1C while I tested it, and now I've been using it with the Falcon. So the filter material has got some miles on it so far, but it's still doing a good job.
Yeah. Cool. Good to know.
Like I said, if one happens to fall off a truck in Mankato.
Well, someone's ears. What's that?
Brett, you done made Brett spend money.
Well, he says you first.
You were the straw that broke the camel's back.
I mean, I didn't do that much. I haven't said a whole lot other than here and a few sneak preview posts on Facebook because I'm still in the figuring it out and testing phase. So
yeah, that's true. But yeah,
so that blame goes more on you.
I guess you're right. I guess so.
We got I think their ears were burning earlier because we got Onefinity stopping by to say hi.
Yeah, hashtag Steve gets all the cool toys.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that one because this definitely is a right. I can point right. It's definitely a cool upgrade to the shop. You know, I had the original one for I got that early 2021. I'd ordered it back in 2020, and I did a lot with that, and been looking at upgrading it with a spindle and cable chain, and I've been looking at the controllers, and it just kind of made sense to replace the whole thing. And plus my other one went to a good home. It went to a guy who's working with a business of doing cat furniture. Speaking of, they sell it at the Minnesota State Fair. You should definitely go to the State Fair. And so, yeah, that one's got a good new home. And just today, if you missed it earlier, I did get kind of the first official cut. I mean, I did do this one earlier, in fairness. It's the second cut I've done on it, but
well, third if you count the
one they test at the factory. So
okay.
Okay, fine. I did flatten the spoil board. Okay, you know,
you're losing count over there, Steve. You're losing count.
Well, we're ramping up, and I'm looking forward to getting that thing in full force here. So definitely more coming with that. And like I say, I've been very happy with Onefinity over the past 5 years, and excited to have this one rocking as well. So definitely stay tuned for more content on that.
Yeah, I like the closed loop steppers.
There's so many upgrades from my old one to this one that you don't know what you're missing until you kind of jump into it. And like I say, the old one was great. It was working fine for me, but you add, the air cooled spindle, which is way quieter than the trim router, and it's going to run more consistent. The closed loop steppers for accuracy, just the overall rigidity of this one and whatnot seems to be better. I'm excited to do more with it. So
well, get to work, sir.
Mark, I did not get the automatic tool changer. We'll see. I'm getting this one set up and start doing some stuff with it first. I'll tell you, there's a 3 or 4 bits. I would say I don't know. The bits I use a lot. Okay. The 1/4 inch downtown Jenny is a workhorse. For detailed stuff on smaller things like this, I'll use the 1/8 inch for getting into the small pockets. And this whole thing was done with the 1/8 inch Jenny bit, the downtown Jenny. I love the 1/2 inch bowl cut Jenny bit. And now having the bigger spindle, I might be saying, hey, Cody, when are we going to, upsize that bit? But I do a lot with, catch-all trays and such like that. So that bit is a workhorse. But then also having some V bits for doing some detailed carving and such. So, well, I don't know. And see, that's the problem is when you do like the 3D ones, you need some ball nose in this. But the ones that you really use a lot, the 1/4 inch down cut and that bowl cut for the more of the the workhorse ones for cutting out things that you might sell at a trade show. The 3D engravings are fun and great, but they're kind of more specialty items that I either do for myself or if someone really wants it, because they can take some time and some material.
Yeah.
But yeah, more to come on that real soon. I hope to have my kind of initial assembly and first cut video out in here. I got partway through the edit today while I was grilling the chicken, and so I'll be doing more on that tomorrow. If I don't run into any big hiccups, probably see it Tuesday. So
cool. Yeah, I'm anxious to see what you're gonna do with it. That's for sure. I know you've been because me and you've had that conversation about you needing to upgrade multiple times.
Yeah.
So about time. What's up, Ryan? Hello, sir. If y'all not familiar, our Ballard Designs over there, our friend Ryan, that's in there eavesdropping in their show last night when they do their Saturday night show. I was just mostly listening because I was in here working with different stuff and testing out getting the Creality up and going and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I was lurking while running running more of a break in on the spindle and doing other things, so I didn't get to chat too much. But yeah, they do a nice show Saturday nights where they kind of feature different makers in our space, CNC routers, laser cutters, 3D printers, and then tangential things where they kind of just show cool products, projects, and videos from other creators. So it's a good way to kind of, if you're looking for new channels to watch, it's kind of good thing to check out on Saturday nights.
Oh yeah. Southern Laser Crafts is saying that, sorry, I'm late. Excited for my new X2D to arrive Wednesday, I believe. Do you have the Vision encoder? I bought it just in case. I do not have, and I had even told Steve, because Steve was looking at, what all do I need to go with it? And I had told him that that's the only thing that I didn't get, that I don't know that I need, but I have thought about getting it. But most of my stuff is not engineering level prints. Like, I'm getting really good luck with the parts that I've made so far being correct the way they are. If I ever have, just a wild hair and I'm making an order anyway, maybe I get one to try it out and see if it helps. But so far, I haven't saw where I need it. I did some research on it though, and what it does is basically it helps you improve the geometry of your print by using the camera and the special build plate, basically. So, and some people were saying that there was noticeable improvements, but it would probably have to be something pretty exact for me to be able to see any improvement. Like I said, my Bigfoots that I print, it works just fine. So you didn't get it, did you?
No, I didn't order it, but I think it's one of those things that, like you say, after you've used the printer for a while, or if you've moved it and maybe rough, it's a good thing to run. So I think I'll probably pick it up eventually, but I was trying to make sure I had a nice collection of nozzles, wanted to grab some of the different support materials, things like that. And after a while, I was like, okay, I need to gotta watch the dollar amount that I was spending too quickly. But it's an $80 plate, but I think it's kind of one of those things that it's a good tune-up device to have, after you've maybe run it a little while, or when you start running into maybe some issues that could pile in.
Yeah, see, because like this, I print these, and like this part here, I actually print this on the P2S and this on the X2D because I use the interface material here to ensure it. And these things, they snap together perfectly, like too perfectly sometimes, because you have to be real careful when you go to snap them apart or you'll break it. So until I start seeing issues with the print, I haven't, but that's, like Steve said, maybe it's a tune-up, like after so many hours or whatever, maybe it'd be a good idea to run it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that snaps in there tight. That I'm talking about. Look at that. That snaps in tight. And that's printed on 2 different bamboo machines. And I just snapped it together. Now I'm probably going to regret that, trying to get it apart. I have to take I actually have to take like my punch to knock that out of there. That's why
Mm.
that hole is open on the top. Because if not, you don't get that out of there.
So
But I mean,
Jerry Richmond's asking, would you think there's a problem if your 50-watt CO2 laser does not seem to fire at all below 19%? Is there something to check in that case? That might be a little bit high, but no, the CO2 lasers, especially the glass filled ones, they do take a certain percentage before they'll fire. And I want to say in the past, maybe 40 to 50 watts, I've been closer to maybe the 15 to 16% range. So 19 is not necessarily out of the question, but it could be if it's getting older. Maybe your tube sat around for a while. It's lost a little bit of its the gases, and they're taking a little more energy to excite. That could be an early sign that you're getting closer to needing a tube replacement. But they don't expect them to fire below probably. I mean, I think the lowest one I've ever seen fire on a glass filled one is around 12 or 13%. So you're maybe a little above that. Like I say, it could be a sign of a tube that maybe has lost a little bit of its energy, but I wouldn't be overly concerned unless it's getting really high and you're seeing like actual issues with cutting quality and such. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got Cody sneaking in as well. Good to see you, Cody. You're muted.
he's in here soliciting bits, Cody. Go ahead.
But good to see you as always. Like I was saying earlier, starting getting some workout on some of the bits again.
Yeah.
Uh,
Santa said he knows he just bought the Genmitsu 4040 recently, but seeing the Onefinity over your shoulder looks tempting.
well, I shouldn't. I definitely then shouldn't tell you about their what is it? The Apprentice is the closest thing to the 4040. It's about the same size, but in Onefinity style. So, but no, the Genmitsu 4040 is definitely a good, kind of bench top, getting your feet wet, figuring out if it's something for you, kind of cutting your teeth on it, and you can do a lot with that. It's definitely a capable machine in that size. But yeah, as you start envisioning bigger projects and such, sometimes the working area and whatnot, you start looking at bigger machines. But even this one, I mean, this one's great, but I probably use on my older machine, probably I would say 60 to 70% of the jobs I did on that one could have been done on a benchtop smaller machine. But it's nice having the working area to set up bigger jobs, set up multiple,
yeah, and when you're not using it, it makes a bigger table.
Well, that's not a good thing. You're setting things on there and you're like, okay, I got to move this stuff. But
yeah, well, I haven't used mine in a few days because like I did stove covers this week, so those are going to get delivered tomorrow, and I'll be back cleared. But yeah, I've only had 2 jobs come in to where I had to use the full 4 foot by 4 foot. Now I used a 4 foot wide quite regular, but a 4 foot by 2 foot would probably I could have done every job I've done except for like 2. Sure. If I had a 4 foot by 2 foot. But it was the price difference when I bought mine between a 4 foot by 4 foot and a 4 foot by 2 foot was not that great. And I was like, as long as I'm willing to commit the space to it, it'll be okay. And that's what I did.
Yeah, as long as you've got the space. Yeah, you're paying a lot for the control system and the wiring and whatnot, and there's minor differences if they're 3 feet to 4 feet. Same with like the extrusion and other things. So yeah, it's kind of like you jump in, and I was the same way with the laser. Like, well, I'm already spending this much for a little bit more and get a bigger working area when I bought my original one. So I was just gonna say, Maui said that what we said did help out, and they were able to work it out. So hey, we helped someone live and got the feedback the same day. So cool.
Worked perfect, he says. Say there, hey, just make sure you give us a good review. But yeah. Yeah, tumblers is kind of. I know Steve doesn't do a lot of tumblers. He does them, but not probably not as many as I do. But tumblers, especially in Xtool software, has kind of become like frequent for me.
I did have to take a break from them because I did a lot of them early on, but with the Master and the Omtech Polar 2 and even the P3, I did order up a couple cases of multicolor packs to do some playing. So you'll see some more coming out of here. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Is it's like you with the stove covers. After a while, you're kind of like,
oh yeah, yeah. If it wasn't for the fact that at the end of the day, I mean, it's money. You know what I mean? It's money. Some people look at that and go, "Oh, it's just a bunch of boards." But to me, that's money. That's, if nothing else pays me any money this month, those will. So I can't let them go. Rich said, "Late as usual." That's what happens. Y'all playing and having like good times with your machines and stuff.
It's kind of like me. I'll get busy out here in the shop and lose track of time. So
yeah.
But
trying to make sure.
Yeah, I don't want to leave anything too hanging, but
if you have a comment or a question that we haven't answered, y'all be sure to drop it at the end so we can get it, because it's 2 hours in, so we don't want to leave anybody out. But
Mick's saying on their Thunder Nova 24 60 watt CO2 and get down to 8% on a new tube. Yeah, if you've got a quality system with a really good matched tube, like a quality tube and a matched power supply on some of those nicer machines, you generally get a little bit better performance out of them, and maybe that. But yeah, it over time, that too will adjust. Santa Lasers Engraving is asking, what's your go-to for most hold downs on your CNC? I hope to jump into it heavy next weekend since the laser shop is now organized. There are a lot of different methods, and a little bit of it is how you set up your spoil board and also kind of what you're doing. A lot of smaller jobs, you can actually get by with some double-sided tape, some engraving jobs. But if you have T-track or threaded inserts, yeah, like what Clock's showing, that type of 3D printed hold down, I use a lot of those because they can both double as like an end stop that you push up against, or you can also flip it over and have the tab on top. You can have the whole thing on top. They're quite versatile. So I make a bunch of those, but those you have to have T-track or threaded inserts to work with.
Yeah. So. And then these are some that I designed myself that are like the infill's really, really thick on them. They're more of a low profile for thinner materials. But these, I have these, and some of them you'll see are marked like ABS. I was doing some like which one holds up better, PETG or ABS. And I'm gonna be honest with you, PETG seems to do just as well as the ABS with the same settings. But then I have some that are like thicker and bigger. I use these a lot, like Steve said. But there are times too to where I use screws. Sometimes I use the tape, super glue. I mean, it just depends. You'll end up with like this big box of like CNC hold down stuff here. You'll even end up with wedges. Like I got a whole bunch of these little wedges. I sat over there one day on the bandsaw and just made wedges.
And some people even just screw the material right to the wasteboard. So
yeah,
a lot of different ways. You kind of got to feel out a few for yourself. But if you're using those clamp styles and you have a 3D printer, I definitely would make yourself some of those. Especially the Saint Smart likes to send their real heavy duty metal clamps with them, and the screws stick up high, and it's a hard plastic knob, and it's a metal like aluminum arm. I just I
call those bit killers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't seasoned CNC user to a beginner, you're just asking to hit that with something. You won't be paying attention to where your fast rapids are going, or that the dust boot swings too wide or things like that. So I would double-sided tape or the CA painter's tape method works well. 3D printed clamps work well. I've even made some quarter blocks and then some cam locks that push together. That's great for like flattening slabs and such as well. So there's a number of different things, and definitely something I'm gonna have to cover as I dive into more projects at the Onefinity is like a few different styles of that. So
yeah, and I'm running, and I don't know if he's still in the room or not. I'm actually running Brett's modified spool board on my Spoko. And like when he sends it to you, he does the dog holes with some 3D printed dogs that go in there as well.
dog holes
The
are great.
one, yeah, the one that Brett sells has, it's of course the Shapoko has the T-Tracks already, but Brett adds the dog holes to it as well as optional threaded inserts if you want those. And so I have dog holes, threaded inserts, T-Tracks, plus I can glue stuff down if I need to. So I have like basically all the methods in my machine over there. And these are really handy, especially like if you're batching stuff out and you're going to set your file up to where, say you got 10 to do and you're going to load a piece of material, cut one, load a piece of material, cut one. The dogs are really, really handy because you can kind of index your material so that you know you ain't got to go back and frame and all that. You just release the material, put new material down, and send it again. So it just kind of an efficiency thing for that. And the dog holes, like I said, just basically you just make an L in your work area and use it for reference. So pretty handy. Lots of different options. Dusty over there under that CNC.
Nick Holden says my CNC is what got me into 3D printing 7 years ago. Yeah, it's amazing how they kind of bleed into each other, and definitely having a 3D printer for making hold down clamps and other jigs, both on lasers and CNC routers, is it's very handy to have that. So, yeah, it's if you cut through it, you just print a new one.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt you a bit either. Like
it shouldn't, unless you use some metal infused, carbon fiber infused, resin infused.
If you use the ABS with the glass feel, maybe it might,
Yeah, JR says T-Tracks the thing I've ended up using least of all. I would tend to agree, but I still put it in there, because it makes a nice divider for, if I mess up one chunk of MDF, I can just slide in a replacement. But there's occasion where I'm like, okay, yep, I got to use this clamp here in this style. But yeah, the threaded inserts and putting the blocks and things like that, I don't know. I'm thinking about redoing a spoil board on top of this one. And I might do I want to try to probably add the dog hole in the kind of at least the front and the left edge. So
yeah, they're handy. Like I said, especially, and when you're doing like two-sided stuff too, sometimes it helps because you don't have to lose. I usually will wind up doing the dowel holes too, like punch through with a dowel hole so that I know it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But it keeps you really, really close just using the dogs because you bump up against that, and so I've done it both ways, but I really prefer to put me down like a sacrificial board under the bottom, and I just punch through with a dowel and do it that way. That way I don't have to worry about it being off.
Yeah.
So,
well, there you go. Fuzzy D had the question on the Vision Pro earlier, and we got him pointed in the right direction and found a cable spine. So yeah, hopefully you don't run into the issue, but definitely having that on hand, keep you running. Nothing worse than having your laser break down from a more proprietary part that you got to wait on the company to replace. So glad we kind of help point you in the right direction there. So
yeah, like I said, you may never have the problem, but there's a good likelihood that you could. So
better be safe than sorry on that one. So
yeah.
Anyway, we're rolling up on 15 minutes over, and I'm at the end of the comments. There's a few maybe we missed, but
yeah, if you got one we missed, by all means, throw it in there real quick so we can get to you. There's Brett. Speaking of which, yes, he is still in the room. He said, yeah, dog holes are awesome for a reference. Just depends on what you do. But like I said, I like to have options for CNC work holding. Okay. Yeah, and that's my thing is if you have all of them, you never need for any particular one. Like you can use combinations of several. Like a lot of times the dogs you can use as a backup to kind of help keep from shifting, when you're using tape and putting extra pressure on the tape. I mean, there's lots of options. I've even looked at, using the threaded inserts and 3D printing my own little corner brackets and stuff like that for it. Lots of options out there for sure. And then a lot of like I've got some also got some clamps that I use sometimes that Rockler makes that actually use the T-track, and then they have like a handle that snaps over, and you can use those for, you know, to help with work holding as well. So it's never a bad thing to have more than one way of doing it. Sometimes if it's a really expensive piece of wood, you may use 3 or 4 of those different techniques to make sure it doesn't move.
Yep.
Because I've got to where I use a Craig bit. I'll take that Craig bit. If I know that I'm going to do an engrave, I'll go right in the corner with that Craig bit and drill down, and I'll leave like a 1/2 inch of material, and I'll put me a Craig screw in there, because, you know, those Craig screws are made to where they're not supposed to blow out the material. And I'll drop those Craig screws in the corner with some tape underneath there and still have clamps holding it just to make sure it doesn't move. Because ain't nothing sucks worse than being hours into a 3D carve or something and you're trying to cut it out and work holding come loose and ruin, you know, the project. It's one thing if you ruin it right in the beginning because it's just the material, but if it's been running for 5 or 6 hours and then it ruins it, now you've material plus the wear on the bits plus the time. I mean, it's just a disaster. So
Ryan says, thanks for going long for my viewing pleasure. I appreciate it. Apparently Clax, you know, he bought these clocks to kind of time his talking, and apparently it's broken because, you know,
well, this font
keeps going.
on my computer screen over here is way too small. I can't see it.
Maybe you need some glasses.
Oh no. I ain't got nowhere to be. You got somewhere to be? Oh,
I mean, tomorrow morning I'm going to have to pedal my butt to work.
You got to go to work. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm already at work. All right. That's it, guys. We appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. We had Brett. We had Rick. We had Rich. We had We had Ryan. And we had all kind of famous people in here tonight. We had the folks from over at Onefinity. Had Yuri from over at Creality. Man, it was just like, this was like the who's who tonight. Enjoyed it.
Well, we thank everybody for stopping by and hanging out again, and we'll be doing episode 192 next Sunday. So in the meantime, knock on wood, I'll get the initial cut done on the or the initial video done on the
Good Lord, how many initial cuts you doing?
Everything's an initial cut, right? No, it's that's gonna be my priority the next couple of days, is get that out. And then, like I say, I've been working with the tumblers on a couple of lasers to try to get through that, and then we'll be trying to keep things moving in the shop with some content. So if you want some behind the scenes and you're on Facebook, go follow my page there. It's linked down under my channel. I try to post updates there as well, and some fun feedback back and forth. Otherwise, yeah, that's kind of what I got going this week.
Yeah, and he didn't mention it this live, so I'm gonna mention it for him. Don't forget about Ventari Outdoors over there. Steve's trying to get that thing started, get it going. So go check out Ventari Outdoors, as well as you know, I've been doing some stuff over on my other channel, the Clakleys. Got some e-bikes in. Been trying to get some exercise, lose a little bit of this gut down here, and getting some shape. So come check it out. And if you're going to the Next Level Maker event, it's coming up on us. So make your final preparations. So I think Steve said they're about out of rooms, or we're really close to being out of rooms.
Yeah, the only rooms they have left are part of the block that the venue is holding for the event, and I think they said that expires like what, the 4th or 5th?
I think that's
what of August. So if you're going and you want to stay there, you're going to want to get that locked in soon. Otherwise, you're going to have more travel and whatnot. So everybody's kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah. Jack at the shop saying getting in shape with an e-bike. Yep, you missed it, Jack. It ain't what you think, but hey, come on. I got 2 of them. You can jump on one of them and keep up with me one day. You'll see. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you guys.
See you, everyone.